The pronouns was, were. Cause if you chat shit, you will get banged. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk, you piece of shit.
They are dangerous, they are evil, they're wicked, and they need to be silenced. They need to be shut down from the debate. We cannot engage with evil. We need to crush it. And that means removing their platforms, removing them, kicking them out of parliament. We need to drain the swamp.
This weekend, though, was completely destroyed in so many ways emotionally by the completely deranged and vile reaction by the British left to the political assassination of Charlie Kirk, an event that I know has impacted Brits in ways that I think a lot of people didn't expect. Now, we're going to get reaction very shortly from Father Calvin Robinson, who was, of course, a good friend of Charlie Kirk and had worked with him a lot in the US over the past few years. And I know this is going to be painful for Father Calvin to watch, but I think we have to lean in to just how horrendous the left have been, because we have to understand that there is not only a mental illness, but an evil that runs through these people who are truly violent and truly people who celebrate death of their enemies. And one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen, and I know some people will think I'm exaggerating, but genuinely, I was so horrified by this, was Bob Vylan, that hard left lunatic who is now banned from the US, on stage, not only celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk, but suggesting that this will come to others who share his opinions. Watch.
I want to dedicate this next one to an absolute piece of shit of a human being. The pronouns was, were. Cause if you chat shit, you will get banged. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk, you piece of shit.
I mean, Father Calvin, look, I'm a free speech absolutist, but he will be judged. That man will be judged for those comments.
When I started this work, speaking on TV and radio and great platforms like yours, I used to say things like, I remember saying it many times, the left think we are evil, but we just think they're wrong. That's the difference between the left and the right. But actually, no, we were wrong all along. They are evil. This is evil. We saw a good man die, a good Christian man, a father, a husband, someone who is a patriot, who cares about his country and the West. We saw him get murdered in front of our very eyes, and that should shock all of us to the core, because we're human beings, right? We have this thing called empathy, if not sympathy, for the lives of other people, because every single human life is sacred. So for people to see someone die, not die, get killed, and celebrate that, there's no way that that is not evil. That's sheer evil. And everyone can see it now. And so we're seeing these lefty loonies celebrating the death of a good man. And we're seeing how prevalent evil is within our society. We're seeing the demons within people, contorting them. And so we have to push back. We are fighting, well, lies with truth all day, every day. But now we're fighting evil with goodness. And you know what? I'm not a free speech absolutist. I believe in free speech for the purposes of proclaiming the gospel. But these people who have embraced cancel culture, they've cancelled us for speaking the truth for so long, whether it's over COVID or the trans issue or whatever. It's time for us to embrace cancel culture. We cancel them for being wicked, for being evil. That person should not have a platform. He should not be on stage saying, chat S get banged, R.I.P. Charlie Kirk. He should not have a platform to do that. He should be gone from public life. And the same for the Oxford Union person who met Charlie and debated him and still celebrated his death. How dark can you be to meet someone face to face?
And I want to come to that, actually, that guy, because Calvin, there's more evidence of him over the weekend inciting violence again. So we will come to that. Okay. But first, I just want to show you how Bob Vylan responded, because we all just saw what he said. And this is the other thing about the left. They will literally tell you white is black to save their ass and to stop themselves from being locked up. But of course, when it's Graham Linehan, no one cares. When it's Lucy Connolly, no one cares. But when it's Bob Vylan, he gets away with it. Watch this. If you're enjoying what we're doing here on Outspoken, please consider joining our thriving community over on Substack, www.outspoken.live. You can sign up completely for free, but Substack is so important to me. It is a free speech platform. It protects me from big tech cancellation. Plus, you get to communicate directly with me. Head on over www.outspoken.live, enter your email address, and sign up today.
Yo, real quick. At no point during yesterday's show was Charlie Kirk's death celebrated. At no point whatsoever did we celebrate Charlie Kirk's death. I did call him a piece of shit, that much is true, but at no point was his death celebrated. If it was, go find me a quote, go find me something that proves that we were celebrating his death. You're not going to find it, because it didn't happen. What did happen is one reporter that bought their ticket online came with the sole purpose of finding something to report, and after I called him a piece of shit and we played a song, they have written that up as a celebration. Not a celebration, isn't a celebration, wasn't a celebration. Calm down.
So we've got Lauren Lunfarrow with us too, a PR expert and media commentator. I mean, Lauren, he is lying. He is literally sitting there barefaced lying. And by the way, I don't think a journalist snuck into the concert to film that. It would have been one of his fans. Everyone films at concerts all the time.
Yeah, I mean, that's just absolute rubbish. He is totally gaslighting everyone. And shock horror, a grifty, talentless little twit says the most abhorrent things to stir up interest or hate. It's disgusting. Now, I do believe in free speech, and I don't believe we should cherry pick who must have it. But I do believe that we really all need to tighten our reins as to what is acceptable, because there's two-tier media, there's two-tier policing, and it is absolutely wrong that someone is going around inciting hatred like this. And let's be honest, he wouldn't be doing it if Charlie Kirk wasn't a white Christian man.
100%. 100%. I mean, look, what Father Calvin is saying is true. If this were someone on the right speaking in that way about someone on the left, they would be in jail. I mean, I'm not even exaggerating. They would be in custody right now. But Father Calvin, you mentioned the situation at Oxford University. So I wanted to show you this, Father Calvin. So this is obviously the incoming president of the Oxford Union, a horrible man called George Aberoni, who so he debated Charlie Kirk, was completely owned by Charlie Kirk, and then celebrated the assassination of Charlie Kirk. But what shocked me, Father Calvin, this was not a one-off. Watch his previous speech at the Oxford Union, where he also incited violence.
To effectively create change in the world we desire. And Side Prop will argue that at times there is simply nothing else that can be required other than violent retaliation. And this is a view I wholeheartedly agree with. The view that some institutions are too broken, too regressive, too oppressive to be reformed. Like cancers of our society, they must and they should be taken down by any means necessary.
By any means necessary, Father Calvin Robinson. So this is now not a one-off, is it? The Oxford Union has an incoming president who clearly believes in political violence against his enemies.
Despicable, absolutely despicable. I have an email in my inbox right now from the Oxford Union inviting me to speak on "This House believes that the sun should never be set on the British Empire," something I strongly believe in and something I would love to talk about, but I will not be going. I will not be accepting that invitation. Despicable organisation. The fact that he's said this on multiple occasions, but also the fact that they've backed him up, and the press statement they've put out, which I don't know if you have, says something along the lines of, oh, the racist abuse that he's been facing. No, don't try and cry, bully. Don't try and play the victim here.
No,
This
you are not
scruff-arse
the victim,
standing there
mate.
in his jogging bottoms and his UGG boots while he's trying to debate someone in that prestigious house, in that prestigious union. It's first and foremost his attitude is all wrong. But secondly, when you meet someone, it doesn't matter how much you disagree with them, you should be able to see them as a person. And so if they die, you should commemorate that. You should memorialize that. You don't celebrate that. How dark are these people? So he should be sent down, and which is the terminology in Oxford University. He should be kicked out of the university. He should not be studying there. I mean, he's a diversity hire in the first place. He got ABB, for goodness sake. He shouldn't be at Oxford University. But because he's got a high melanin count, he's allowed in, even though he's not clever enough to be there. After this, he should be gone.
Yeah, and look at him there. Look at him there. I mean,
Scruff-arse.
and
Just absolute
also
scruff-arse.
he was totally owned. Totally owned. There's also been something very despicable from Alastair Campbell over the weekend, who made this claim about Charlie Kirk. But first, in today's digital world, your online freedom and safety have never been more under threat, whether it's state overreach, tracking by big tech, or cyber criminals lurking on public Wi-Fi. Indeed, in the UK, just this week, we've now seen many popular sites and important content, even my news reporting here on Outspoken, even important speeches in the House of Commons censored entirely because of the government's so-called new Online Safety Act. You will have heard, I'm sure, in this discussion, lots of people saying you need to get a VPN to protect yourself and still access all your favorite content. Well, guess what? I have the perfect solution. It's Surfshark, by far the world's best VPN that protects your identity and secures your data. But the great thing is Surfshark is actually so much more than a VPN, and you can go to surfshark.com/outspoken for an extra 4 months of Surfshark to secure your data, protect your freedom, and support Outspoken at the same time. Now look at this. Surfshark's Clean Web feature blocks ads, trackers, malware, and phishing links so you can browse safely without being spied on. And it makes the experience so much easier and more pleasant too. Need to access certain apps or websites without VPN interference, like your banking app, for example? Well, Surfshark's bypasser feature handles that with ease. And if your VPN connection ever drops, Surfshark's kill switch immediately disconnects your device from the internet, keeping your data safe at all times. Plus, with dynamic multi-hop, you can route your connection through 2 different countries at once, doubling your encryption and making tracking nearly impossible. This also means you can freely switch beyond your favorite country lock shows with the click of a button. So you can be watching effectively your favorite TV shows or sport from anywhere in the world, wherever you are. There are other benefits of Surfshark too. You can use it on unlimited devices, meaning your entire household can stay safe with just one subscription. And with over 3,200 servers in over 100 countries, there is a world of choice at your fingertips. And I know for lots of you, this will be your first time using a VPN, but the great news is that Surfshark offers you 24/7 customer service. So go to surfshark.com/outspoken for an extra 4 months of Surfshark. And what's more, this is really important. Surfshark is so confident it's the best VPN in the world. Trust me, it is. I use it every single day, that you can give it a try for a full 30 days. And if you're not entirely satisfied, you will get your money back. So go to surfshark.com/outspoken or use the code OUTSPOKEN at checkout to get 4 extra months of Surfshark VPN. But now, back to the show.
The guy's died and it's tragic, but the views, it's important that we don't lose sight of some of the views that he expressed because they were horrific. I remember one clip I saw of him saying that, literally reading the Bible, gay people should be stoned to death.
Now, of course, that is bullshit. That is completely untrue. He never said that. And in fact, if you look in depth at his comments on this whole issue, he was the opposite of what Alastair Campbell was trying to suggest. So Campbell posts apologies for this. I had seen a clip on social media which did not have the full context and had seen others making the same claim. The full exchange shows it was a debate about biblical interpretation, not a call for the stoning of gay people. Kirk did have views for which I strongly disagree, but this was not among them. Note to self, especially amid tragedy and potentially deeply polarizing events, be extra careful about social media mis- and disinformation. But I'm sorry, Lauren, that is not good enough. This is the #1 purveyor of disinformation in the United Kingdom. He knew exactly what he was doing. He just thought he'd get away with it, like he got away with his illegal lies about Iraq, which led to an illegal war. And I find it astonishing that Alastair Campbell is continued to be allowed this platform when the bloke should be in jail.
Yeah, I mean, Alastair Campbell knows all about disinformation. And yet again, you know, people are trying to be controversial and offensive to make themselves relevant. And it's purely piggybacking off the death of a father and a husband who was assassinated. Alastair Campbell is a repulsive individual that I have never come across anyone that would follow him, listen to him, likes him, or respects him. It's grifty what he's done. He's old enough to know better than if you are going to go online and make statements, you double check them. And he would know because he is, some may say, very keen on propaganda.
Yeah, indeed. Indeed. He wasn't the only one on the left, though. There was an incredible moment where Konstantin Kisin completely owned Lewis Goodall on this issue. Before we get to that, though, I just want to show you that the type of bile and vile that Lewis Goodall has been spreading about Charlie Kirk, and he's doing it sort of under the cloak of respectability, but he's not hiding what he is doing at all well. Watch.
They're all from accounts, MAGA accounts, big following, blue ticks. Liberals can never be allowed to run this country again. How do you coexist with people that want to murder you? These are all separate things. If you vote Democrat at this point, you're a demonic, evil person. I will support whatever saves our country. Trump has a blank check as far as I'm concerned. Another, I want vengeance. I know it's wrong. I wish I was just a better person. I'm just not. Even Charlie Kirk's own organisation, Turning Point, tweeted, "Look back in anger." There are some on the radical right of the American politics at the heart of the MAGA movement who are responding to this, and I would say, put it like this, they're like arsonists complaining about the temperature of the building. They have added fuel to the fire, fuel to the fire, fuel to the fire, and are now looking around and finding that the situation they're in is hot. It needs to cool down in every direction.
I mean, I have to be honest, I've never wanted to see that sweaty little mess be owned more than right now. So luckily, Piers Morgan Uncensored bought Konstantin Kisin of the Trigonometry podcast to do just that.
Konstantin, your response to that?
I have to agree with Lewis. He is living in a different reality, one that has no connection to actual reality.
But what's wrong?
What are you talking
what's
about?
Incorrect about what I've just said?
You're
Konstantin?
comparing somebody saying "fight like hell" in the context of a political campaign
In the context of a
with
lie
what
where
I
you tried to
explained
overturn a
earlier.
democratic
Lewis, can I
election. That's
speak
the
now?
definition of
Are
far-right
you capable
behaviour.
of listening to an alternative point of view, or
I'm
do you have to
incapable
shout
of
down?
listening to
Well,
nonsense.
shut up then. Shut up and listen if you're capable of it. Now, you can't compare somebody saying "fight like hell" in the context of a political campaign with what I explained earlier, which is when you
Wasn't a
call
political
people
campaign.
Nazis.
The campaign was over.
Shut up and listen to an alternative opinion. Why is it that you people have a complete inability to listen to opinions that you don't like? Why can't you just sit there and actually hear what I'm saying?
I'm waiting.
You can't oh my God. You can't compare somebody saying "fight like hell" with somebody explaining that the country is an imminent threat of a fascist takeover, because an imminent threat of a fascist takeover is something that would actually legitimize you picking up a rifle and heading to the front line. So when you and Cenk and people like that call people you don't like far right, hard right, Nazis and fascists, you are creating an environment in which some crazy people, yes, of course they're crazy, will feel that they're entitled to use violence to prevent the fake fascist takeover you keep banging on about. And there is no equivalence between these things. I disagree, by the way. Cenk is entitled to criticize Charlie Kirk and his positions on the show. That's absolutely fine. But when you label and smear people as fascists and Nazis, that is taking it to an entirely different level. And that is where I hope there would be some self-reflection. But I'm not seeing any on this panel tonight, I'm afraid.
Father Calvin Robinson, there's been no self-reflection from the likes of Lewis Goodall, who are trying to smear a man who was politically assassinated, who are trying to justify, I believe, political violence against those of us on the right.
Yeah, because they're complicit. Lewis Goodall and his ilk, they are complicit in the murder of Charlie Kirk. They are murderers themselves because they are spreading this. When he talks about spreading a toxic environment, he and people like him are the ones creating it. Konstantin Kissin and I don't agree on much, but we agree very much on this point in that when you keep calling people far-right, extremists, fascists, Nazis, keep calling them those words for so long, people start to believe it. And these crazies will take the matter into their own hands and kill, because why would you not want to kill Hitler if he stood in front of you, right? That's exactly what's being painted. And so we every single quote that Lewis read out on his show, I agree with. We can no longer allow liberals to be in power. We can no longer allow these people to govern our countries and the Western world because they are dangerous, they are evil, they're wicked, and they need to be silenced. They need to be shut down from the debate. We cannot engage with evil. We need to crush it. And that means removing their platforms, removing them, kicking them out of parliament. We need to drain the swamp. Absolutely. These people cannot govern us any longer.
Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please click on my face just to the bottom left to subscribe to this brand new independent news source and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to our brand new live shows, uncancelled interviews and special royal episodes. Outspoken is also now available as a podcast, so you can listen to the show every weekday on the go wherever you are.